The first cards that fell in this reading already brought an energy of tension between wanting and doing, between feeling and acting. The opening card was the Path with Two Doors, showing that this person has been living divided between two worlds, two desires, two wills. And that's what makes you feel like you're in second place? And, in a way, you are. Because when someone doesn't choose clearly, they end up pushing true feelings into an emotional drawer. Right after came the Empty Throne, a card that represents exactly that feeling of absence, of waiting for someone to occupy a space that's already yours but remains unclaimed. You feel that, don't you? That this person talks, shows affection sometimes, but doesn't truly commit to what you mean. And that hurts, because it's not a lack of love. It's a lack of action. And to be loved without being a priority hurts. The Foggy Mirror appeared next, and it talks about how you've been seeing yourself in this relationship. Sometimes you wonder if you're exaggerating, if you're seeing things that aren't there. But the cards confirm your intuition is right. You've been giving more than you've received. You've offered presence and gotten absence in return. You've given your all while waiting for reciprocity. And this needs to be looked at with honesty. Then came the pendulum of indecision, bringing confirmation that this person is inconsistent. Sometimes they come close, sometimes they pull away, sometimes they make plans, sometimes they vanish. It's not out of malice, but it's also not fair, because those who truly love find a way to show it. Those who really feel make space, and you deserve more than emotional crumbs scattered in occasional moments. The Ignored Garden was the next card, and its image is powerful. It shows that something beautiful is being neglected, and that something is you. You've offered care, attention, presence, truth, but instead of being cherished, you've been postponed. And the problem with postponing is that time charges interest. The soul charges. And one day, what was a flower gets tired of waiting for the right water. Next came the broken thread of priority, showing that you were once the center of this person's thoughts. You had that space, but something happened. Maybe it was routine, maybe someone else, maybe just fear of surrender. And then, instead of keeping you as a priority, they placed you on an emotional shelf. There, in sight, but out of reach. As if you were still there, but no longer being lived. The always empty chair brought an important sign. You are missed. Even if this person doesn't say it, even if they try to pretend everything's fine, the absence of your warmth, your attention, your presence, it weighs on them. And in certain moments of silence, you are the one they think of. But thought alone isn't enough, because love that doesn't act doesn't fulfill. Then came the stalled clock, representing that time is passing and this person remains still. And while you wait for a decision, a gesture, a clear word, they watch life go by. Maybe out of fear of making a mistake, maybe out of complacency, but prolonged silence is also an answer. And you need to understand, being an option was never your role. Closing this first part, the door that only opens from within appeared like a whisper from the universe. The choice to become a priority starts with you. Because when you choose yourself, value yourself, recognize yourself, the other person feels it. And if they don't understand that now, the universe will reorganize everything so you are honored as you deserve. The card that opened this second part was the Invitation Never Sent, an energy that shows this person thinks about including you, prioritizing you, but doesn't act. They stay in the realm of intentions, of almost, and that drains you because you feel like you could be living beautiful moments with this person, but instead you wait for them to make a move. And that wait turns into pain, into doubt, into emotional exhaustion. Next came the wheel that turns without moving, showing that this story is stuck in repetitive cycles. You give chances, you believe, you wait, but the promises don't come true. The conversations repeat, and despite all your effort, you're still being treated like someone who can wait, like someone who'll always be there, no matter what they receive. And that is not balanced love. The silence after the plea appeared next, representing that moment when you've already said everything. You've explained, you've shown, you've opened your heart, and now you feel like any new word would just be repetition. Because what's missing isn't understanding. What's missing is reciprocity, is decision, is movement. And the silence after your openness speaks more about their absence than about you. Then came the emotional scarecrow, a painful but important card. It shows that, in some moments, this person uses you as an emotional escape, as someone they turn to when they're lonely, when they need comfort, when everything else fails. But when they're fine, when other options show up, you're left aside. That is not love. That is using your light. The key of the postponed choice came right after, bringing a direct message. This person needs to make a choice, and not just between you and someone else, but between being honest or continuing to hide behind excuses. The key is in their hands. But if they don't use it, the door will close, because you weren't born to be a hallway. You're home, your destination. You're where someone is meant to stay. The pillow that cries alone revealed something intimate, even if this person doesn't show it. There is regret. There is longing. There is a desire to do things differently, but they fight against it. Fight against what they feel, maybe out of pride, maybe out of fear, maybe insecurity. And in the meantime, you're kept in an emotional drawer, almost a priority, almost the choice, but never fully lived as you deserve. The penultimate card was the torch extinguished by doubt, showing that if you keep accepting this secondary role, your light starts to fade. It slowly dims, and what once was brilliance turns to shadow. You don't deserve that. You're too intense to live on halves. You're too much light to be an option. And finally, closing this reading, came the crown of true love. And it's not about them. It's about you, about how much you deserve to be loved for real, chosen clearly, lived as a priority. Because when love is real, it doesn't hesitate. It doesn't delay. It doesn't put you on hold. True love shows up and stays. It commits, it nurtures, it values. And that is what the universe is preparing for you, with this person or with someone who understands from the start that you were never meant to be a plan B. Reading conclusion. Yes, right now you're being treated as an option, not because you lack value, but because the other person is choosing that. And this reading didn't come to hurt you. It came to remind you of your power. Because when you place yourself as a priority, no one else has the right to treat you as anything less.